Good morning, all you strange and wonderful weirdos. I'm John.
And I'm Stacey.
It is Friday, October 7th. And here's why today is strange.
All right, let's start off with NASA and their DART mission.
Ah, yes, the DART mission.
The one where they shot a rocket and slammed
And hit it
in asteroid.
in the moon's eye.
Something like that.
It's a silent movie from here to the moon. It's the first DART mission.
It is the double
a deep
asteroid redirection test. And recently, they shot the spacecraft up there. It ran into
was
the
really cool.
asteroid Dimorphos. They've released a picture now, like the very last picture it took before it.
Of the victim.
Yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, so it's going to be a while before they know whether that test was a success. But recently...
It's pretty cool to watch.
Some astronomers took a peek at the asteroid to see, what was going on and if anything was happening up there.
Yeah.
And what they discovered...
What's happening is all the asteroids around it did not think it was very cool.
What they discovered was that the crash has left a trail of debris behind the asteroid, making it look sort of comet-like. That's more than 6,000 miles long.
Wow.
So I don't know what exactly this means, but we've gone from having a comet that was 525 feet wide to having a comet that has, a crater in it. It's 525 feet wide and 6,000 miles of extra debris flying.
Wow. Maybe this is how it ends, by our own hands. Or we find out that all comets are all us from another time. Throughout the years and all the ages of man, we've shot that rocket plenty of times. Made all these. I mean, can you imagine if we find that out someday? This is all comets that we've...
Right. Well, I hope that they take that into consideration when they start deciding whether or not smashing things into asteroids is really a way to save us.
Well,
Maybe we just make it worse.
I don't know, man. Sometimes you see a really nice asteroid and you just want to smash it. Good morning.
Right. Yeah. Good morning. All right. Let's move on. And let's talk about Mars for just a second.
Let's talk about Mars,
now,
baby.
a while back, and we talked about this a while back on a podcast at some point, that they found some mysterious reflections on Mars and decided that there was liquid water in the southern pole of Mars.
Yes.
Yes, we remember this because of the
Or dirty
amazing
mirrors.
reflections that they found, and they were hoping that
It'd be a
there was
lot weirder
lake.
if it was just a big bottom of dirty mirror.
There's a lake under the ice. So now recently, a Cornell University planetary scientist did a research. His name is Dan Lalick.
He did a research?
He did a research, yes.
That's what they call it with the cool people. When they go to the university, see?
And they do the research.
I go to the university. I did a research.
So
in the potty.
Mr. Lalick used some radar data along with some computer simulations to investigate what this reflection could be and came up with the theory that it is not, in fact, a lake under the ice, that it's just geological formations reflecting the signal back to Earth.
Mr. Lalick was like, I'm looking through the telescope now. I know what this is. And the world is not prepared for what I'm looking at. I see a scientist on Mars looking through the telescope at me.
So he's claiming now it's not a lake under the ice. It's just a mirage. Nothing to see here, folks.
Right.
Nothing to see here. Honestly, he
He didn't think the mirror thing was... he was seeing himself as... Because he's looking through a telescope at the reflective surface.
Right. He did admit that he didn't think the debate would be solved until they just took a drill up there and found out. But he's now of the opinion that there is no water.
Well, the asteroid smashers are out of a job.
That's true. They
could redirect DART.
There you go. To Mars.
Yeah. They're dying.
You've got it.
That's it. DART 2.
You've got it figured out.
DART 2. Red, we're coming for you. Can't wait.
Oh, all right.
Wait till Elon hears this.
Oh yes. Elon will have a solution.
We'll smash Mars. Yeah.
Yes. All right, so let's move on.
Yes.
How about a love story this morning?
Aww.
Something sweet.
On a Friday.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
So this goes back to in June of the summer of 2020.
Yes.
A man named Stephen Gosser, who is a bird watcher, loves birds. That's not the love story. Sorry. I shouldn't have alluded to that. He was walking through the woods in western Pennsylvania, and he thought he heard the song of an elusive bird called a scarlet tanager. And so he looked for the bird. And when he found it, he was surprised to see that it was a rose-breasted grosbeak.
Ooh.
Yes. Now, why this is so amazing is because the grosbeak and the tanager are very separate birds. Absolutely complete opposites. And there is absolutely no way that they could get together and have a baby. However, he called in some backup. They caught the bird. They did some genetic sequencing, some song analysis, and voila, brand new rare hybrid bird from two birds that have been on independent evolutionary trajectories for at least 10 million years. They have no idea how this happened.
Well, I can explain. Maybe, Paula Abdul was right. Opposites attract.
They do.
Baby.
It's very comical. They're enjoying this. They said that the story
birds?
begins with a very unlikely encounter between a female rose-breasted grosbeak and a male scarlet tanager. One likes the canopy, one likes the open. Different nesting.
Yeah.
It's all completely different. But this female grosbeak had a baby. The other bird stayed around long enough for the baby to be born and teach it its song. And there we have it.
Are you
Brand new bird.
serious?
Yes. That's all they know.
Wow.
They have absolutely no idea how.
That's like a weird Lifetime, weird drama mix.
It is
Indian
for
epic.
birds.
And go to stick around, chirp, chirp, and teach her my song, chirp, chirp. It was your mother's rose breast that really attracted me.
It looks exactly like the one bird,
Chirp.
but it sings like the other. So brand
course.
new. This day and age, 2022, brand new bird. Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy?
It's going to be hard for that bird in this world.
It is being so different.
Hopefully.
Bird watchers have a new goal now. One of these birds. Wow. There's your love story for the day. All right, so let's move on to Michigan.
Let's.
Okay. So in Michigan, there has been a recall on some of the produce that has been grown by a place called Country Gardens because it was found recently in an inspection that they used outhouse waste to fertilize the field. And they contaminated the produce with human feces. Yes. Now, the farm in question, Country Gardens, which I wouldn't use their produce anyway because they spell country with a K. It's very strange.
They use a U without the O as well?
Yeah, Kuntry. Country Gardens.
Really?
Yes, that's the name of the place. The farm owner says that the human waste contamination was an oversight. It was not intentional. It happened before they even plowed the ground. There was a small section where the human waste from the outhouses that they have on the farm was sprayed onto a section of one of the fields. That section of field was plowed and they used it to plant. Now, it does not say whether
Why was it sprayed on the field for?
It was apparently, according to him, an oversight. So they've stopped production now and they're having...
How was it an oversight?
I have no idea. And it doesn't even say, because this was it got sprayed on there back in February.
Who has an outhouse?
I don't know. They have a couple of outhouses, I guess, and this farm does. And I don't know if they knew and just admitted it because...
So how was the food?
It's been contaminated. They're having to recall it. But they've been growing it since, spring. So.
You think somebody was like...
It went to the stores.
Now that's a dang good tomato. I want to know your secret.
It went to the store. Could you imagine?
I'm not sure you do.
You're eating dinner, you're watching the news, you get all your produce down the street or directly from Country Gardens and you're eating dinner and they're like, don't eat the produce.
Yeah. Wow.
Contaminated.
That was crappy.
Oh, poor thing. Okay, last story. You ready?
Yes.
All right, from Texas. A Texas high school golf team had to cancel their practice recently when they encountered a tournament being put on by an adult entertainment club.
Well, yeah. I can imagine that.
So this high
Did
school
they lose their
in
balls?
Austin, Texas,
Sometimes in the water,
They normally hold their practices at this specific golf club called Avery Ranch. And when they showed up this one day, it turns out that the golf course had been booked out for a tournament that was run by a place called the Yellow Roll Rose, which is an adult entertainment club in Austin.
Yellow Roll Rose?
No, just the Yellow Rose.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And when the high school team showed up, the coach immediately canceled practice, had the kids call their parents to come pick them up because they witnessed some unfortunately lewd behavior before they were shooed away from the golf course. Now, the golf course, claims that they had no idea that anything bad was going to happen
Oh, yeah.
during the tournament put on by this adult
So
gentlemen's club.
what kind of tournament did the women do?
Well, it wasn't just, I don't know if it was just the women. It was just a tournament sponsored by them.
I mean,
Apparently,
were they playing golf?
They didn't specify on the lewd behavior, but I do know that some of the women were very scantily half-clad.
Where were the men hitting the balls into?
Not sure. No,
Or off of?
footage. Yeah, there was no footage. Nobody really went into it. Just that, there was a bunch of teenage boys who were very upset with their coach that they had to leave the golf course.
Of course they were.
Yes.
No, coach, I don't need the iron. I've got the wood. No. And that's why today is strange.